Good morning. In the previous section, we were discussing regarding the induction motor design. So we have discussed about the topics like the output equation of the induction motor, then the construction of this induction motor, then we have seen the stator design, and we have seen the air gap design. So I will show you some document where we have discussed the topics in the previous section. So in this case, first I will show you this length of air gap, how the length of air gap should be selected, what are the parameters will be affected. So these are the main parameters. So depending on the length of air gap, these may change. So uh, before this, we have discussed regarding the stator design and all. So today I am going to discuss, I am going to solve two examples on the stator design, and I am going to discuss about the design criteria of rotor. So in order to solve the examples of the stator design, we need to consider the following parameters. So here the stator design, this is the stator design, we have discussed this previous. So it is having stator slots, then how to select the number of stator slots, then we have seen this particular whatever the stator slot pitch at the area gap is there, it should be 1.5 to 2.5 centimeter. So this you have to remember. And then tau ss is pi d divided by ss. So tau ss is stator slot pitch at the area gap surface. Then we have discussed turns per phase formula. These are the formulas we have used. And then we have getting the conductor slot, that is Zs as Z divided by Ss, or 60 phase per Ss. Also conductor cross section area, that is As and that Is. So these all are the parameters we have seen in the last sessions. This is length of main turn, LMT, this one, and depth of the stator core below the slots. So this thing is the formula. So now we'll discuss some of the examples, and then we move towards rotor design. So here I have taken these examples. Example number one. So this is completely based on the stator design of induction motor. So obtain the following design information for the stator of a 30 kilowatt 440 volt 3 phase 6 pole 50 hertz delta connected squirrel cage induction motor. Uh, the main dimensions we need to calculate of the stator, then number of turns per phase, number of stator slots, number of conductors per slot, and assume suitable values for the missing data. In this case, we need to obtain these all design information, and this is the data given, the specification of that particular motor. So we need to, in order to get the main dimensions, that is D and L of the stator. So let us say, in this case, the specific magnetic loading BAB is given by the specific magnetic loading. So here it is 0.48 Tesla. So the specific magnetic loading, it is the, let us say, the data is given. So BAB, it is 0.48 Tesla. Then specific electric loading, it is also given. This is 26,000 ampere conductor per meter. Then again, full load efficiency is given. Full load efficiency, that is 0.88. It is also given. Full load power factor, it is given 0.86 cos pi. Then winding factor Kw is given. Kw is given. So now we need to calculate the main dimensions. Now to calculate the main dimensions, we have an output equation, that is d square L is equal to Q divided by C naught Ns meter. This is the formula we got from output equation. So from this equation, what we can do is we can get the value of, let us say, C naught, output coefficient. So let us say C naught is given by 11 BAV Q Kw eta cos pi into 10 raised to minus. C naught formula I can write for three-phase induction motor as this. Put the values 11 BAV, it is again given, Q is given, Kw is given, eta is given, cos pi is given. We have to calculate C naught. So this is 99.2. We can get C naught. Now Ns, that is speed of the particular motor in terms of revolution per second. Ns is again 16.67 RPS. So now here in this case, you can put the d square L value. D square L is 30 divided by 99.2 into 16.67. This is the value for d square. So now we need to design the machine for best power factor. So this is the design consideration. So in order to have the machine for best power factor, it is a formula. Whatever the d is there, it should be 0.135 p under square root L. So this is the basic formula. Now we can put here 0.135 into the number of pole p under square root L. So solving for d and L, we have the formulas d square L. This is one formula, and this is second formula, d is equal to. So from these two equations, we can get d as 0.33 and L as 0.17 meter. So this is the main dimensions. Second point, number of stator turns. So in order to have the number of stator turns, whatever the T phase, so we need to calculate pi. We need to calculate pi. So how we can calculate pi? Again, pi is equal to pi dl divided by p dav. This is the equation for the pi value. So from this, we can put the values. We'll get pi as 0.4141 Weber. Why we are finding pi here? We need to calculate number of stator turns. That is the formula T phase is equal to E phase by 4.44 F pi kW. In order to have this, we need to calculate this. So assume E phase is equal to V phase. That is equal to 440 volts. And whatever T phase is there, it is 148. Now, third point, it is number of stator slots. So in order to have number of stator slots, so assume the number of slots per pole per phase is equal to 3. Number of slots per pole per phase is 3. So by assuming this, this is 3 into 3 into 6. So there are 3 phases, and there are, let us say, 3 slots, and there are 6 poles. So the number of slots, stator slots will be 54. Now number of conductors per slot will be, so we can get the total number of conductors as 148 into 2. 148 into 2. So this is number of conductors per slot. So now number of conductors per slot, it is 296 divided by 54, what we got. So it is 5.5. Now assuming 76 conductors per slot, so the total number of conductors will be 54 into 6 is equal to 324. So now the revised number of turns per phase will be 160. Revised number of per phase will be 160. So this is the final value. Now, going to example number 2. In this case, again a 15 kilowatt 440 uh, volts 4 pole 50 hertz 3-phase induction motor is built with a stator core of 0.25 meter. So stator core of 0.25 meter, that is, let us say, the diameter, and a core length of 0.16 meter. Core length is 0.16 meter. The specific electric loading is 23,000 AC per meter. Using data of this machine, determine the core dimensions. Core dimensions we need to calculate. Number of slots and number of stator conductors for a 11 kilowatt 460 volt 6 pole 50 hertz motor. Assume full load efficiency of 84% and power factor of 0.82, and the winding factor kW is 0.955. So now we need to calculate this particular, whatever the main core dimensions of this particular motor, having 11 kilowatt, by using this particular. So for 15 kilowatt, let us say for 15 kilowatt motor input is basic 15 divided by 0.84. Now synchronous speed NS is 120 into 50 divided by 4 into 60. It is 25 RPS. And now we have output coefficient. This is the formula for output coefficient C naught. It is output by d square lns. Output, it is 15 and divided by d square 0.25. This 0.25 d square into L 0.16 into ns is 25. It is output is 60. So now by using this, we can get uh, again here in this case C naught is this thing. C naught will be this thing. BAV we don't know. This is C naught value, output coefficient. So hence we know that whatever the BAV is there, so it is 60 divided by 166.4. By using this thing, whatever the BAV we can get is 60 C naught divided by 166.44. Now BAV is 0.36 Tesla. Now pole pitch, yes, that is topic. It is equal to pi d divided by p. Pi d divided by pi into whatever the 0.25 is there, it is d, divided by pole, it is 4. Pole, it is 4. So by using this, we can get topi, that is 0.16196 meter. And L by topi, it is assumed, that is 0.815. 0.815. So now for 11 kilowatt motor, the desired data from 15 kilowatt machine has to be taken. Has to be taken, yes. So BAV is taken from this, and then Q is taken, L by 2P is taken, and C naught is taken from the 15 kilowatt. Now we need to calculate the main dimension of 11 kilowatt motor. How? Just take synchronous speed as that of this particular 15 kilowatt. So this is 16.667. Now again go for d square L. D square L. Put the values here. Output is 11 divided by 60 into 16.667. It is d square L you can get. Now go for L by pi dt. L by tau. Tau I am putting as pi d divided by p. Yeah, it is 0.815. 0.815. It is given. Now, so L by d is equal to 0.815 into 5 by 6. It is 0.427. From this equation, we can get L as 0.427 d. 0.427 d. So now substitute this value in d square L product and solve d and L. So by putting this, whatever the L is equal to 0.427 d is there. So we are putting in d square L and we can get the values. D is equal to L. Now number of slots, considering slot pitch at the air gap between 1.5 and 2.5 centimeter, it is assumed again. So now by assuming this, we can get the slot pitch 2.5 centimeter. SS will be pi into 30 divided by 2.5. So it is 37. Hence the number of slots must be taken 37 and 63 and 63. So assuming number of slots per pole per phase again is equal to 3. So SS will be 6 into 3 into 3, that is 54. It is 54. So flux per pole, it is formula BAV into D into L divided by P. It is 0.36 and so on. So it will be the flux per pole value. So again, assuming the star delta connection for the machine under running condition using delta connection. So now I can get stator turns per phase, T phase is equal to, by using this formula we can get stator turns per phase. Again, number of conductors per phase, it is 307. Uh, Again, turns is there, it is 307. So just by multiplying 2, number of conductors per phase, it is 307 into 2. Again, no, total number of stator conductors, it is again, in order to have this stator conductors, we have to multiply with the 3. It is 187. Now, number of conductors per slot will be 187 are the conductors. Now, 52 are the stator slots. So divide it by this. So you will get number of conductors per slot. This is around 34. Hence, total number of conductors will be per slot, it is 34 into the total number of slots will be 1836. 1836. This is the value. So in this way, we can calculate the different parameters for a particular state. So hope you understand these two examples. So now we will move towards the important, that is rotor design. Rotor design. So there are two type of rotor construction. One is the squirrel cage rotor. One is squirrel cage rotor, and another one is slip ring rotor. Slip ring rotor. So most of the induction motor are squirrel cage type because these are having the advantage of rugged and simple in construction, and these are comparatively cheaper. However, they have the disadvantage of lower starting torque. So again, in this type, the rotor consists of bars of copper or aluminum accommodated in rotor slots. But in case of slip ring induction motor, the rotor complex in construction, whatever the construction is, it is complex and it is costlier also. Again, with the advantage that they have the better starting torque. Slip ring induction motor, they have better starting torque. So again, this type of rotor consists of star connected distributed three-phase windings. Three-phase windings. So now we'll discuss the rotor design of this particular motor uh, one by one. So one is the squirrel cage and second is the slip ring. Now we need to study this design of squirrel cage rotor. So now we need to consider different parameters again. Coming to the number of slots. Number of slots. So proper number of rotor slots are to be selected in relation to the number of stator slots. See, as much as the importance is given to the stator slots, so the same will be given to the particular selection of the rotor slots. So these rotor slots are to be selected in relation to the number of stator slots. Otherwise, undesirable effects will be found at the starting of the motor. So the cogging and crawling are the two phenomena which are observed due to wrong combination of number of rotor and stator slots. So in addition, induction motor may develop unpredictable hooks and curves in torque speed characteristics, or the motor may run with lot of noise. So what is crawling here in this case? The rotating magnetic field which is produced in the air gap, so is usually the non-sinusoidal and generally contains odd harmonics of the order third, fifth, and seventh harmonics. So these particular harmonics are responsible for variation in the particular motor performance. So in this case, The third harmonic flux will produce the three times the magnetic poles compared to that of the fundamental. Compared to that of the fundamental. Because see, third harmonic, it is in this case, whatever frequency is there, it is three times the fundamental. So whatever the flux is there, it is producing. So it is three times that of the fundamental. So similarly, the fifth and the seventh will produce poles 5 and 7 times the fundamental respectively. The presence of the harmonics in the flux wave affects the torque speed characteristics. Torque speed characteristics. So the motor with the presence of seventh harmonic is to have a tendency to run the motor at 1/7 of its normal speed. 1/7 of its normal speed. So now coming to the cogging, in some cases wherein number of rotor slots are not proper in relation to the number of stator slots. So the machine refuses to run and remains stationary. So under such conditions, there will be a locking tendency between the rotor and stator. So such a phenomena is called as cogging. So hence, in order to avoid such bad effects, a proper number of rotor slots are to be selected in relation to the stator slots. So in addition to rotor slots, will be skewed by one slot pitch to minimize the tendency of cogging. Again, in order to avoid that particular locking, what we are doing is, in addition to the rotor slots, will be skewed by one slot pitch to minimize the tendency of cogging. So the torque defects like synchronous hooks and cusps and noisy operation while running. So this effect of skewing will slightly increase the rotor resistance and increase the starting torque. However, this will increase the leakage reactance and reduces the starting current and power factor. So hence we can operate the induction motor very efficiently. So now the selection of number of rotor slots, how to select. The number of rotor slots may be selected using following guidelines. So similar to the stator, there are some guidelines to select the rotor slots. So now to avoid fogging and crawling, whatever the SS stator slots is not equal to the SR. And B SS minus SR is not equal to 3P. So these are the basic consideration. Again, to avoid synchronous hooks and curves in torque speed characteristics, SS minus SR is should not equal P or 2P or 5P. So to noisy operation, SS minus SR should not equal to 1, 2, or it is P plus or minus 1, P plus or minus 2. So these are the main design considerations. So now rotor bar current. So bar current in the rotor of a squirrel cage induction motor may be determined by comparing MMF developed in rotor and stator. So how much MMF is developed? So depending on that, bar current will be determined. So the stator MMF is about 15% higher because of the magnetizing MMF, because we can see there whatever the MMF is there, it is traveling from stator to the rotor, and hence there will be maximum magnetizing current in the particular stator MMF. So the stator MMF is about 15% higher because of the magnetizing MMF. So rotor MMF is 0.85. Let us say stator MMF 0.85 of the stator MMF. So number of rotor bars will be number of NB. NB is equal to SR, number of rotor slots, and rotor bar current, let us say it is IB, and rotor MMF is IB SR divided by 2. The stator MMF is 3 ISTS. So thus the IB SR by 2 will be 0.85, 3 ISTS or IB will be given by 0.85 into 3 IS in TS divided by SR. This is the formula for rotor bar IB. So now moving forward, again cross-sectional area of the rotor bar will be given by EB is equal to IB by delta B. And again shape and size of the rotor slots. So these are generally semi-closed slots, as we have discussed in the stator, like open type, semi-closed type, and the taper type. Here also some are the rotor slot designs. Again, copper loss in rotor bar. Again, real length of the rotor bar, that is LV, and then copper loss will be given by IV square into RV, number of rotor bars. This is the formula. And again, entering current will be given by this thing, maximum entering current I max. So these are the formula for entering currents. Again, in order to have area of that entering current, this is the formula, area of entering current. So this is about the design of squirrel cage rotor. So in the next session, I will cover the design of wound rotor, what are the parameters we need to consider, and different formulas, and hence we will solve some examples on the rotor design. So thank you.